Earlier this morning, NVIDIA had their executive keynote for COMPUTEX 2021, and Escape from Tarkov was mentioned. It was only brief, but it was mentioned. With this mention, they unveiled a new feature that would be added to Escape from Tarkov when the new GeForce Experience update comes out for our graphics card drivers. And this feature? NVIDIA Reflex. Many people were speculating that it was going to be ray tracing and DLSS, but no. It's NVIDIA Reflex, and I'll tell you why that this is probably the best thing they could have announced with NVIDIA graphics cards. Firstly, I'd like to mention this video is going to be as brief as possible, so I'm going to quickly go over what NVIDIA Reflex is, and I'm going to talk about why it's a good thing, and then later down the line we'll do a full test to see how good this NVIDIA Reflex is and how much it'll improve in your raids. Firstly, what is NVIDIA Reflex? Well, it is an SDK developed by NVIDIA, and this is passed on to game developers, which allows them to put graphics settings within their game settings, which reduces the latency of your game in graphic intensive scenes, so it will reduce the strain on your GPU and reduce the latency. This is already in many competitive shooters like Valorant, Warzone, etc., but turning this on inside of the game settings will not only give you better responsiveness and increased aiming precision and a more up-to-date idea on where someone is on your screen, so you're less likely to miss them when you're taking a shot. What happens in video games, especially the graphics intensive ones, is when you do something either with a mouse or a keyboard, your CPU recognizes that action and then processes the frames into a render queue. You'll have about 10 to 15 frames inside of this render queue, and then it'll be fed one by one to the GPU. This happens really quickly, but because it's being fed one by one, this gives you latency in your system. So what happens is all of these frames are being stacked up and then they're being pushed out. That's great for FPS, but with this new NVIDIA Reflex SDK, it basically shrinks that render queue massively and keeps your GPU and CPU completely in sync, which is basically halving your system latency. And as mentioned, this is obviously incredible for your latency. It'll basically half it, if not more, and it also isn't terrible for your FPS. It may damage it slightly, but not a massive amount where the game is now unplayable. So what does this mean for Escape from Tarkov? Well, you know half the time where you shoot an enemy and you say, oh, that should have hit, these fucking servers, they're useless. Well, the majority of the time, well, I say about 50% of the time, it's not your servers, it's the game's optimization to your system latency. This is going to massively reduce that, so that 50% of the time where you think you should have hit that target and you actually missed, well, you're actually going to be hitting that target now because you're reducing your latency massively. Improving the server side, however, is not going to make a difference. The servers still need to be fixed on Battlestate's end, but they are constantly developing that. But this is going to reduce the latency massively, so if you're seeing someone run between cover to cover, and usually, especially me, I wouldn't want to take that shot in case I'm missing, I will be more confident in taking that shot now because I know that if I'm leading my shot right and knowing that it should hit if the latency is good, then I know that that will hit from now on. NVIDIA showed a little preview of what this NVIDIA Reflex is going to be like within Escape from Tarkov, so to back up my point, I think we should just watch that through. It's really quick, and then you'll sort of get a gist of an idea with a visual on what this is going to do to your game.
And Escape from Tarkov, the intense survival shooter from Battlestate Games, is one of the top 10 most played competitive shooters. Coming soon, 12 of the top 15 competitive shooters will feature NVIDIA Reflex. Let's take a look at Reflex in Escape from Tarkov.
One thing we do know from this, guys, is that we are going to be seeing improved latency overall. They do mention that it's going to be in GPU intensive scenes, and that has always been the case, but with Escape from Tarkov being such a GPU intensive game as a whole, it's always using the GPU over the CPU anyway, we should be seeing a massive reduction in latency of the system throughout every single scene that we see. So that is a really good thing. When the Reflex SDK gets turned on within Escape from Tarkov, I'm going to be doing a full breakdown on what this does, how much latency it improves, how much performance it reduces, and whether it's a worthwhile thing to use within your raids. So if you want to see that, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button if you haven't already, to stay up to date with my latest Escape from Tarkov content. But other than this, guys, what do you think of this little announcement? What do you think it's going to do to your game, and are you excited for it? Personally, I was expecting DLSS at the very minimum to be announced in this keynote, but it has been confirmed by Escape from Tarkov and Battlestate Games themselves that it will be coming eventually, so we just gotta wait for that and look forward to that. But I'm still excited to see how Reflex performs, and I hope you guys are too. But thank you so much for watching, guys. I love you lots. I'll see you in the next video. I know it's a short one, but I hope you got an idea of what NVIDIA Reflex is all about and what it's going to do inside of Escape from Tarkov. So thank you so much. I love you lots. I'll see you soon.